Jaxon.
And I'm Dylan.
And this is Wacky News.
Welcome to Wacky News. My name is Dylan. This is a podcast for kids, about kids, and presented to you by kids. My brother Jaxon and I will share neat stories every week for you to discuss with your friends on the school bus, during lunch, or whenever you want.
Hi guys, we're back with episode 2 of Wacky News. I'm Jaxon. This week we are super excited to introduce the Wacky News Machine. I invented it to help bring us the latest and cool kids news from all around the world. I will work the machine and Dylan will read the stories it prints out.
Remember that you can still go to podcastplayground.com to learn about Wacky News and all of the neat stories we are sharing. There will be pictures and videos from the news stories. And the Wacky Words vocabulary list will give the definitions for any word that you might not know.
Let's get started. Okay, Wacky News Machine. Find us a cool story about science.
This is so neat.
I know, right?
Paper batteries. Scientists and engineers want to improve the batteries we use to power everyday things, making them rechargeable, smaller, less expensive, and better for the environment are all goals that they've had for years. Well, it looks like researchers from a university in Sweden have succeeded with their invention, Power Paper, a battery made out of paper.
Yay!
The scientists started by power blasting cellulose, the stuff used to make paper and cardboard, with the water until each cellulose strand was only 20 nanometers in diameter. To give you an idea of how small that is, a nanometer is 1/billionth of a meter. Or, a better example, a sheet of paper is about 100,000 nanometers thick. The researchers then create a thin coating of electrically charged molecules around each strand. Liquid in between each strand works as an electrolyte, which means it moves the electricity around. And the scientists then turn those strands into a thin sheet that they call power paper. According to the team, one sheet of power paper is only 6 inches wide and less than a millimeter thick and can be recharged hundreds of times. And it only takes a few seconds to charge. It is lightweight and waterproof and very eco-friendly. It isn't available to the public yet, but I look forward to the day when my mom can buy a roll of power paper instead of lots of heavy, bulky batteries.
That's really neat. I just hope no one mistakes a roll of power paper for a roll of toilet paper.
Ew!
Okay, Wacky News Machine, how about news about animals? I love this thing.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, this is perfect. Dylan, remember how in episode 0 you read about Inky the octopus escaping?
Yeah, that was a crazy story.
Well, this one looks even crazier. Here.
Chimp on the run. Chacha the chimpanzee escaped from the Yajiyama Zoological Park in northern Japan a few weeks ago, and the authorities scrambled to recapture him as he fled throughout a neighborhood in Sendai. The 24-year-old male chimp climbed up an electricity pole and started swinging from the power lines. Oh, look, here's a picture of Chacha screaming at one of the rescuers. He probably didn't realize that it was so dangerous up there and that he was, up in some weird tree.
Wow, I didn't know chimpanzees were so big. We're totally putting this picture on the website. You can also check it out and take a look.
Anyway, veterinarian ended up shooting Chacha with a tranquilizer gun so that he would fall asleep and they could bring him back to the zoo. Chacha was very high up, so when the sedative kicked in, he fell to the ground where he was caught by the rescue workers.
The website will also have video footage of Chacha being captured.
And no worries about Chacha. He fully recovered since his fall.
Let's see what else the machine can find in the news. What about outer space?
A marathon that is out of this world. Astronaut Tim Peake of the European Space Agency recently completed the 2016 London Marathon. And guess what? He did it completely in outer space. Peak started off the marathon by doing a countdown for over 40,000 runners down on Earth, and then proceeded to run the 26.2 miles on a special treadmill on the International Space Station. The treadmills are typically used by astronauts to get their daily exercise, since being in outer space with no gravity can have negative effects on their muscle mass and bones. Peak wore a harness to stop him from floating around and make it feel like he was running with gravity, despite being over 250 miles above the face of the Earth. Flight controllers monitored his progress to make sure he followed the rules. Even though the astronaut told reporters he didn't expect to beat his fastest time on Earth because the harness can get very uncomfortable, he finished an impressive 3 hours, 35 minutes, and 21 seconds. Peak used this opportunity to raise funds for a charity called the Princess Trust that helps young people receive education and training and get into jobs.
Awesome. We have some pictures of Tim Peak that you can look at online. And now it's time for Wacky Jokes! Why was there thunder and lightning in the lab? The scientists were brainstorming.
What did the little mountain say to the big mountain? Hi, Cliff.
Here's another mountain joke for you. What do you call a funny mountain? Hilarious!
You'll love this one, Jackson. Why couldn't the pirate play cards? Because he was sitting on the deck.
Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot. Okay, guys, that's it for episode 2 of Wacky News. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and join us next week for episode 3.
And visit podcastplayground.com for more information about me, Dylan, and Jackson, as well as pictures and videos, vocabulary words, and more. See you next week!